Welcome to South-South News and welcome to the United Nations. From June 8th through the 10th, the majority of the nations of the world convened at the United Nations to shine the spotlight on a problem that's been with us for over 30 years, and that's HIV/AIDS. My guest today is someone who's going to bring us up to date on this conference and some of the highlights that came out of the conference. And he is the president, His Excellency, the president of Fiji, Mr. Ratu Epeli Nailatikau. Got it. Nailatikau is with us, and he has chaired a very important committee. But before we get into that, Mr. President, first off, I want to thank you so very much for being with me today. And secondly, could you focus a little bit on why this international conference is so very important for not only the countries that have participated, but the people of the world?
Well, the main reason is there is no cure for HIV/AIDS at the moment. We've been down this road for 30 years. And I think 10 years down the road, people thought there was going to be a cure. 20 years down the road, they thought the same. Nothing happened. Now we're 30 years down the road. And we've got to see whether there is going to be a cure. There is a great improvement in averting HIV and AIDS, in prevention, but the main thing is looking for a cure. And the innovations that are going on now are looking into that. And that is the big driving force.
Now, this conference had many experts, political leaders from around the world. They discussed the issues, and they came up with a declaration. What were some of the suggestions that will come out of this declaration that will sort of serve as a blueprint for governments and other groups around the world?
Well, it's for us, the main worry is financing. Financing, because the present financing will run out in 2013. There's nothing on the drawing boards whether that is going to be replaced. Now, we can't have come down the track all this way and achieved so much then to be worried that we're not going to continue with that. And that needs to be solved, and solved as soon as possible. The involvement now of including people living with HIV/AIDS, that is a strong message. They must be consulted, and we have to work together right from the beginning. There is a tendency of leaving them out. That's a past tendency. But inclusion is one of the important aspects. There are other things that I could cover, but those, for me, are the most important ones.
Now, you chaired, I believe there were 5 major committees, and you chaired one of those committees, the Innovations and Technologies Committee. Who were some of the participants, and what were some of your recommendations?
Well, the participation of that committee varied a great deal, because we had people participating that interested me, really, was the people living with HIV and AIDS. They are representatives of the different countries. The first lady of Malawi was a participant, and she presented a very good presentation during that session. But listening and getting the views of those people living with HIV/AIDS, because in a way they felt left out in the past. But now with their inclusion and hearing what they believe to be their rightful place to discuss their future and what will happen to them, and the medicines and the cures, not the cure really, the prevention pills that will be available to them. It's discussing their welfare. That's what the point that I like.
And this has been an issue that's been of great interest to you. You served before as a United Nations AIDS representative for the Pacific area, and this is something that's been of great interest for many years.
I've been serving with HIV/AIDS for quite a long time in Fiji, because when I was the Speaker of the House, I was involved with Dr. Peter Piot, and he appointed me as the special UN representative on UNAIDS representative in the Pacific. But I was encouraged initially by Dr. Nafi Sadiq, who was the UNAIDS representative for Asia and the Pacific. And my work has continued through that and organizing the parliamentarians who are the leaders in the advocacy or against HIV/AIDS. And it continues. Once you get into this, you never get out of it.
Exactly. Well, Your Excellency, Ratu Epeli Nailatikau, thank you so very much for being with me today, and thank you for a very interesting program.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I'm Bill Miller. Thank you for joining us on South-South News.